Hi dolls, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hi, my name is Naledi and thank you for joining us on today's video. If you're a returning subby, welcome back and thank you so much for the love. Please do not forget to like, to comment and to subscribe to my channel. I'm pretty sure you dolls have seen from the thumbnail of this video that this is going to be a weight loss video. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing how I lost weight within 3 months without any exercise. And before I do get into this video, I would like to put it out there that I did not weigh myself throughout this process. I'm not really a scale girl because I feel it can be a bit deceiving. So the way that I saw that I lost some weight is through my clothes and with literally my eyes, because the results were so visible. You dolls will see at the end of the video when I show you how I currently look in comparison to the way that I looked on my thumbnail. So that is how I saw that I lost weight. And before the beginning of this journey, I had a pair of pants that I had from Zara, which were a linen material and did not stretch. And before the journey, they could barely go above my butt, but now they fit to a point where I actually need to take them to a tailor to get them altered. So that really does tell me that I did shred off some weight or some fat. So like I did say in this video, I'm going to be sharing how I lost weight within 3 months. And I want to put a disclaimer out there that I am not a nutritionist, I'm not a health expert, I'm not a dietitian. In this video, I'm simply going to be sharing weight loss tips that worked for me. And before you do undergo this journey, I highly recommend that you please do consult a doctor or a health expert. So if you're interested in seeing any of that, please keep on watching this video. So in my opinion, this diet or lifestyle is very simple. There are a few food restrictions, but this does not necessarily mean starving yourself. You can still eat your usual portions. The only difference with this is that you will actually be eating nutritious food that actually benefits your body, and then use other weight loss tips to aid the journey. And because these tips are very simple and straightforward, I am going to try and keep this video as short as possible. So I am going to break these tips into 3 categories. The first category being the foods to stay away from, the second category being how to go about eating these foods, and then the third and last category being a tool or a garment that can help you with your weight loss, since we won't be doing any form of exercise. So the first category is the foods that you need to stay away from. So basically this lifestyle or diet is a low carb, no sugar, no starch and no dairy lifestyle or diet. So I'm going to be breaking each of these down and naming the foods that you specifically need to stay away from. So with the first one being low carbs, we do know that most of our foods do have carbs. So the only thing that you need to do is stick to your low carb foods. The foods that you need to absolutely stay away from for at least the first 3 months is your pasta, your pap, your bread and your rice, because these foods are very high in carbs. And this was a bit difficult for me because as a South African, we have pap with almost all of our dishes. And one thing that I did struggle with was pasta, because pasta is my absolute favorite dish. So that is what I kind of struggled with. But in the first 3 months, I did make sure to stay away from those high carb foods because I honestly did want to see the progress and the weight loss. But like with every lifestyle, after the 3 months mark, you can manipulate the diet to how it suits you, because after all, we are human and we do have cravings. So after the 3 months mark, and I did start seeing a huge difference in my weight, I did start putting back or incorporating back my favorite foods into my diet. But maybe once a week, if I'm craving pasta, I will have that, or once a month. So it all depends on what your favorites are. So you can still incorporate your favorite foods into your diet after you start seeing your weight loss. The only thing that you need to do is manage how you eat them and how often you eat them. So the next one is no starch. I feel like no starch literally goes with the foods that are mostly with the high carbs. But the most important thing, or the most important food to stay away from in the no starch segment, is your potato. So whether it's potato fries, some people know it as slab chips or chips, whether it's mashed potatoes, whether it's a potato bake, so whatever dish does have potatoes in it, please try to stay away from it. But like I did say, if it's one of your favorite meals, do keep it to a minimal and manage how you eat it. So that is basically it for the starch segment. The next section to the foods that you need to stay away from is sugar. And I literally thought this was going to be the most difficult part of the diet, and to my surprise, as I started going into the journey, I realized that this was actually the simplest part of the journey, because for everything that I ate in my life that had sugar, there is literally a no sugar alternative to it. So whether it be sweets, drinks, or biscuits, which are some of my top 3 favorites, there are literally no sugar alternatives to these. And with the biscuits, most of them are no sugar and low carb, so that makes them perfect for this diet. So the no sugar section, in my opinion, is one of the easiest, because for anything that can come to your mind right now that has sugar, there is literally a no sugar alternative to that. And then the next and last section is no dairy, which is something that I have a hard time with. I struggle with this one a lot, because anything cheese, anything milk, anything creamy, anything yogurty is my cup of tea. I absolutely love dairy products. To be honest, with some of these dairy products, there are alternatives, but they taste literally nothing like the original dairy product. Like with the milk, there's almond milk, there's rice milk, there's oat milk, and honestly they all taste horrible. I have tried almond milk in the past and I could not take it for very long, but I am trying to slowly go back into almond milk, and I hope this time I can just get my mind and body right and get used to the product. And like I did say, this is one of the sections which I struggle with a lot, because honestly I love muesli and you need yogurt to eat muesli. I love tea and coffee, you need milk for that. And I love pasta, you also need cheese for that. So this section is literally the most difficult for me, but in the first 3 months I just pushed my way through and didn't eat or cut all of these foods out. But after 3 months I did start incorporating some of my favorites back into my diet. So the trick to this first category of the foods that you need to stay away from is literally moderation and discipline. Do eat some of your favorite foods, but just make sure that you eat them in moderation and do not eat them each and every single day of the week, and you'll literally be good to go. And with mentioning all the foods that you need to stay away from, I feel like it's not necessary for me to mention the foods that you need to be eating on a daily basis, because if I've given you the foods that you need to stay away from, you can work your way around the foods that you can eat. So the next category into this lifestyle or diet is how to go about eating these foods. And for this I included intermittent fasting in my diet or lifestyle. Intermittent fasting is known to help with weight loss even if you're still eating some of your favorite foods. So imagine the weight loss results that you will see when you start combining intermittent fasting with your no sugar, no carbs, no starch, and no dairy lifestyle. I am not going to be getting too deep into intermittent fasting because there are so many ways to do it. I'm not even sure if the way that I'm doing it is correct, but this is what works for me. If you want more information on intermittent fasting, kindly do your own research on that. So basically, intermittent fasting is having certain times of the day or night when you can eat and times when you cannot eat. So how I personally do it is have 2 meals a day. The first meal being breakfast or brunch. I have any time in between 12:30 and 1:30, and then I usually have my dinner at 6:30, 7 p.m. latest. And then all the other times where you're not allowed to eat, that is 7 p.m. going to your bedtime, of course midnight, and then the time before your breakfast, that is any time before 12:30, and then the times between your breakfast and your dinner. All these are the times where you're not allowed to eat anything solid. So the lighting of this video has probably changed, and that is because we had load shedding for 2 hours. So I'm filming this part of the video at night, but let's not waste any time and continue with the video. So as I was saying, with intermittent fasting and the times or the periods where you cannot eat, in these periods you can definitely have something to drink, but because of my no sugar restriction, I still try to keep it sugar free. So I will have a cup of green tea, a cup of senna tea, I'll have lemon water, or I'll have a glass of apple cider vinegar water. Please do keep in mind or remember that with apple cider vinegar, you need to use a straw when you are drinking the mixture, and then limit it to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar per glass of water. So that is about it when it comes to intermittent fasting. And then we are going to go straight into our last category, which is a tool or a garment that can help you with your weight loss, since we won't be doing any exercise, and that is a waist trainer, which I am currently wearing right now. And before we do get into the topic of waist training, I would like to say that a waist trainer is not a miracle garment. It is not a magic garment, and if you are not going to be helping your waist trainer, it will not work for you. And the way to help your waist trainer is to eat well or to exercise. You can even do both if you can. That is just not what I'm about to do, because I'm very much not an active person. Honestly, I feel like there isn't much to say about waist training because it is very simple and straightforward. You need to keep your waist trainer on in order for it to be able to help you, of course alongside with eating well and working out if you can do both. But you need to keep your waist trainer on for long periods of time. You cannot wear your waist trainer for an hour and think that the Messiah will come down and snatch your waist, because I can almost guarantee you that it will not work out like that, or it will not work out in your favor. So if you need to see results with waist training, you need to be able to wear it for hours and hours on end, eat well, and maybe work out. And honestly, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and were able to take a few tips or tricks from this video. If you have any other questions or any other inquiries or anything else that you want to add in regards to weight loss, please do leave it in the comment section. And I would like to say that for anyone that is only starting with the weight loss journey, it might be a bit difficult for you to combine all these things together. So maybe you can start with eating well first, and when your body adjusts to that, you can introduce intermittent fasting and then bring along the waist trainer.